Hello and welcome back to the final of the kind of end of year lists. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda wanna get this shit over and done with, right? The last one took way too long, and not just to film but also just to edit. A few disclaimers. Probably not going to go through in depth as much of these as I want to, just because again, this is 100 songs we're talking about. It's not just 50 albums; it's 100 songs. But it's one of the things where this video is more just about the appreciation and to praise these songs, because like I said, these are the best songs of the year, and I just think everyone should check them out. I'm actually going to make a Spotify playlist now that I think about it. Of the 100 songs, I do have some honorable mentions I want to get over with. Or start with, I should say. I think this mic's working. I don't know until I stopped the video. I realised it wasn't working at all in the last video, so that was a bit awkward. No beverages for this one. And yeah, not that much effort, because all the shit you saw inside, I'm not going to do that 100 times. You feel me? Also, last disclaimer, it's limited to 2 songs per artist, because if I were to do top 100 songs with and limited songs from any amount of artists, it's just going to be like a few artists, you know what I mean? I have kind of cheated a little bit with some, so I hope you forgive me, only because it was just like, it was separate things. You'll probably know who I'm talking about when I say part of it was songs with a collab between 2 artists, and then them separately as their own solo stuff. So I guess you could say I've cheated a bit there, but I don't give a fuck. I really wanted to include those songs regardless. Yeah, let's just get started with the honorable mentions. I got Titty Boy by Lil Wayne, So Bad It's Good kind of song. Pearls by Jessie Ware, best dance song of the year. Saturn by Clyde and St. Jameson, great production on that track, love that song to death. Shout out to Clyde. Victorious by Blade and Young Lean. Hey Hey by Lil B and Bitch Mob, unironically one of the best country songs of the year. Rockin' with Keith by Banchico, love that instrumental. I'm not talking 100. Giving Up by Metro Boomin, Don Toliver, 21 Savage and 2 Chainz. Chalice by Turnabout and Sick Boy Rari. Hummingbird by Metro Boomin and James Blake. Tarsia 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 by Shoo Shoo, the most scariest song of the year for sure. Myself by Yeet. Rip My One by High C and Mike Broke as Fuck. Super Ski by Lucky. Deserve Me by Kali Uchis and Summer Walker. And the last song in the honorable mention list, Life's Terms by Navy Blue and Zero. I think that's how you pronounce the name. So yeah, I'm kind of going to just go through a lot of these very quickly. So sorry if I don't go in depth for too much of this. It's just like, it's just going to take way too long. I think I'm going to pick some songs here and there. Like for instance, the first song. And the second song, I guess I want to talk about a bit. But yeah, some songs I'm going to pick out a bit, but then more in depth, I guess, around like the 15th spot, something like that. So apologies for the kind of low effort, but you know, I don't think anyone wants to hear me ramble for as long as I did the last video. So anyway, starting off with the top 100 songs of 2023. Please check all these out. Yeah, I think I will make a Spotify playlist. So yeah, I'll probably link that in the description. So yeah, for sure, check that out. Sign off, number 100, American Dad by Clyde. Another track by my guy Clyde. They made a great instrumental track with this. It's got like quite a few parts. It's very relaxing. Definitely one of the most underrated songs of the year for sure. 99, Free the Frail by Verdant Boyfriend. Again, shout out to Bales for this one. One of the best covers of the year for sure. Next, 98, Woke Up and Asked Siri How I'm Gonna Die by Armand Hammer and JPEG Mafia. 97, The Petals of an Iris by Mio Miriorama. 96, Black Enough by Red Veil and JPEG Mafia. 95, I don't know how to pronounce this track. I think it might be supposed to say like Chivalry or something like that, but it's by High C. Great track. 94, OK by Tizo Touchdown. I didn't particularly like that album, but that song, despite being quite short, really stuck with me. Very catchy, great production, and kind of charming as well. 93, Black Box Life Recorded 21F by Aphex Twin. Shout out to the legend Aphex Twin. 92, Almighty Tune by Lucky. 91, Hold You Like a Chopper by Sick Boy Rari. That whole EP is crazy good. Number 90, Moral Conscience by Kali Uchis. 89 In a Room 7 F760 by Aphex Twin with those crazy ass names. That instrumental goes hard as fuck. 88 Across the Pond Friend by Black Country New Road. Definitely the best song to come out of the new era of BCNR. 87 To Fall in Love by Navy Blue and Budgie. 86 Notice Me by Frost Children, and 84 85 or 84 85, I don't know how to pronounce that name. Great climax at the end, so good. 85 Andalusia Plays by Slowdive. I really did not like that new Slowdive album. I thought it was very disappointing, but this track is very emotional, it's very moving, it's very slow, it's calming but kind of melancholic at the same time. 84 Water Pacific by Adam Killer. 83 Flame by Conway the Machine, Conductor Williams, and Love the Genius. 82 Bullets by Blade and Young Lean. I mean, this duo just goes crazy all the time, and definitely one of their best collabs of recent years for sure. 81 Honeyberry 2 by Pierre Bourne. 80 Sweet Change by Kai Lotus. Shout out Kai Lotus. Number 79 Dancing with the Devil Part 2 by Babyface Ray and Vori. And I'm so fucking annoyed I accidentally skipped that shit in the video. And quick tangent here, right? The thing I meant to say was about Summer's Mind, right? It's such a good album. And what I want to say is shout out to Sean C, because Sean C always puts Babyface Ray as one of like his best albums, mixtapes of the year. And I never check it out, and I thought this year I will, and I loved it. And that was what I really wanted to say in that video, so I kind of want to say now that I have the chance. Number 78, Run 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 by McKinley Dixon. Number 77, Big Meat Holiday by Babyface Ray and King Hendrix. Number 76, Bird Chest by Cochise. Number 75, Sava by Nation and Echo 2K. I mean, Echo 2K fucking snapped on the shit. I love Echo 2K. Number 74, Start by Sign and Crush's Motorist. Number 73, Gotcha by Mio Miriorama. Oh, that song goes like crazy. The production on that is phenomenal. Another incredibly underrated track of the year. Where am I? Also, apologies if I accidentally skip a song, because I skipped the Yeet album as well. I couldn't believe that. Number 72, Say My Grace by Offset and Travis Scott. Again, I really didn't like that album, but that song just it stuck out to me so much. Like the chorus goes fucking crazy. That bit where it's like it was like, why I lost my brother to bullets, why I lost my grandma to cancer, and like that like whole segment of that song just goes ridiculously hard. I wish Travis went a little bit harder, but Offset fucking killed it. Definitely one of his best songs for sure. Number 71, Capable of Love by Pink Pantheress. Number 70, Slide by Feeble Little Horse. Number 69, Year Zero by Billy Woods, Kenny Siegel, and Danny Brown. 68, Break in Half by DC the Don. Great melodic trap song for sure. Number 67, IG by Pierre Bourne. And I'm shocked that this is this. Like, a lot of these songs now are like getting into like genuinely damn near perfect, because there's that many great songs this year. IG by Pierre Bourne. I mean, Pierre Bourne is like, I love Pierre Bourne. Pierre Bourne can be very hit or miss sometimes, but when he's like he's so smooth, the beat is so like trippy but kind of hard. You get songs like this where it's just like, oh, it's a masterpiece. Number 66, Shine by Lil B. Probably, definitely the best Lil B song of the year. The beat is, I don't know what it is about it. It kind of embodies the whole mixtape of the Bass Gods Pro Skater mixtape. It's just so fun. You can tell he's having fun rapping over it. And it's just kind of sweet as well. Yeah, I can't really know how else to describe it. This is a really good song. Number 65, Oil by Gorillaz and Stevie Nicks. Number 64, Boys a Liar Part 2 by Pink Pantheress and Ice Spice. And you are lying if this is not one of your favourite songs of the year, because this is probably the catchiest hit song of the year, for sure. And Ice Spice, I think, killed it on this. Number 63, Paces by Feeble Little Horse. 62, Soul and Mind by Cartier God and Moles. This was the song I was telling you that sampled that Pyrocynical intro. I know that is not the actual name of the song, but I think that's where most of us recognise it from. And I thought it was a great sample. 61, Pretty Isn't Pretty by Olivia Rodrigo. 60, Shake and Bake by Rome Streets. 59, So You Were Tired by Sufjan Stevens. 58, Ballad of a Homeschooled Girl by Olivia Rodrigo. Number 57, Live from the Kitchen Table by McKinley Dixon and Gace Guevara. I think I'm probably pronouncing that wrong. That song is like, that is one of the most beautiful songs of the year for sure. It's so luscious, it's grand, it's almost luxurious in a way. Like it's one of those songs where obviously I know it has live in the name, but I really feel like I'm there in the concert viewing this front row. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's an incredible production. 56, If Only It Was Warmth by King Krul. 55, Sunning Spiegel by Dod Mark. 54, Stories About My Brother by Drake. 53, Split by Yeet. Oh my, Yeet just fucking went off on that track. Jesus fucking Christ, breathe a little. You know what I mean? Like, again, whether you like Yeet or not, I really don't care. I really, really like Yeet. I think that song is definitely top 3 in his discography. I just think that non-stop flow, the beat as well just went crazy. And when, like, obviously I don't mind Yeet when he's like kind of a lot slowed down, stuff like Nine Change and shit like that. And obviously Myself, which was mentioned in the honorable mentions. But when he just fucking snaps, like, it sounds great. 52, He by Cochise. Cochise is like genuinely one of the best trap artists of the modern. They're obviously not of all time, but he just gets better and better with each release. It was always like, I can't remember what his first album was called, but I remember when I reviewed it like a couple of years ago, I was so disappointed because I just thought his singles and everything were like so ridiculously good. And then he released, The Professor. Is that what it's called? I think it's called Professor. And that is one of the best trap albums of that year. And then he released No One's Nice to Me, that short little EP, and this was the best song off of that EP. And it has one of my favourite bars. It was like, you said you got paper, okay, let's go have a band off. You know, it's just shit like that. I know I said this about a lot of artists, and I said about Lil B, but he has fun with every track he makes, and you can just feel it. It's funny, a lot of the bars. He's got a lot of good humour. He's one of the best personalities in rap. That's the thing I should probably say about Cochise. One of the best personalities in rap, for sure. 51, Doe-Eyed by Rebecca Black, one of the best pop songs of the year. Now we get into the top 50, the best of the best. Number 50, The Chosen by Conway the Machine and Jay Skeese. The trumpet sections in these beats goes ridiculously hard. The kind of back and forth between each other. I love that in a lot of rap songs, especially when it's done very well. And this is one of the best I've heard in the past few years. Number 49, Oh You Went by Young Thug and Drake. It's not going to be a Drake feature without some bad bars. It does kind of diminish the track a little bit, but I think they're such a good duo. And out of this and Parade in Cleveland, this was easily better. But I still like that other track as well. 48, Skinny 8 by Gorillaz, one of the best climaxes to a song of the year. That end... and especially, like, the skinny little ape. That shit just like, oh my god, it was so mesmerizing, incredibly beautiful, and tear-jerking at some points. Number 47, Something Well by Sum 2000. Another brilliant climax. You're gonna hear that word a lot. It's very, very soft and quiet and moving, and it gets to the end, and all the effort is like, it's like a huge scream almost. And it just ties the track so well near the end. Number 46, Michael Is Done by Swans. It's not like an instrumental track, but the instrumental of the track takes up a huge bulk of the song, and it is just fascinating to listen to. Once you hear it, it's hypnotic in a way. Not hypnotic in a way where it's like kind of like trippy or psychedelic. It's just hypnotic that you just can't. Like, once you listen to it, you can't distract yourself with anything else. It's that astounding. It's such a beautiful song. Number 45, FFF Freestyle by Dod Mark. Number 44, Feel Good by Slow Tie. This song I had to repeat like a first half of the year. I love the kind of vocal inflections in the verses, the flows. I think the chorus is so like. And a lot of that album is very like contradictory. Like it's a lot of feel good songs, but the messaging and the lyrics are kind of like, ooh, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard hitting. Number 43, Asking to Break by James Blake. Another song where I didn't like the album, but this was such a diamond in the rough of the album. It was the opener. It caught my attention straight away. I think the melodies throughout that and the kind of glitchy, distorted instrumental. I don't know. Again, I wasn't a huge fan of that album, but this song is amazing. Number 42, The Prison at the Bottom of the Crater by Sum 2000 and Asian Glow. One of the best shoegaze songs of the year. Number 41, Kotai Bye by Joey. I didn't expect this to be up this high either. It's a very short song. Joey doesn't do much, but I don't know. It's very catchy. I'd say that for sure. It has one of my favorite bars of the year as well. I act polite. I act polite because it's nice to be nice. I don't know. It's a shit like that. It's very heartwarming. It's a fun track. It's nothing too serious. And yeah, love Joey, man. Shout out to Joey. Number 40, 27 Braids by Earl Sweatshirt and The Alchemist. 39 Should I Be by Lil Yachty. One of the best usages of his vocals in his discography so far. Number 38, Jeez Louise by Underscores and Henhouse. I think, as much as I love the whole track itself, it's really the second part of the song which I think, like, just really makes it as good as it is, if that makes sense. Like, don't get me wrong, I really like the start, very energetic, passionate, but once it gets kind of slower, and I hate to sound like a broken record, the climax of the song is so beautiful. It made me cry when I first heard it, and yeah, great song. Number 37, Jupiter by Kai Lotus. One of the best openers to an album the whole year, without a shadow of a doubt. The build-up is incredible, the flows are immaculate, and again, like I said when I was talking about the album, I'd never heard anything from him before. And when I just put that on, I was just like, the first 10 seconds, I was like, fuck me, this is amazing. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not just saying this because he sent me his album to listen to. I'm not just saying it out of just because, you know what I mean? I'm not just doing it just because he, just send me it and stuff like that. And I'm just being dead serious. Like, if I found this, regardless if he sent this to me or not, I'd love it just as much as I do now. Please check out this album. I beg of you. Number 37, Heaven by Take Care. One of the great love songs, one of the best love songs of the year. Number 35, Insomnia by Parannoul. Number 34, I Say Girl by Adam Killer. Oh my god, I can't. Again, another incredible opener, and another opener that was just like, what? I didn't expect this at all. Yeah, this one of the best emotional performances of the year. I think the vocals on here are genuinely stunning, and I think the instrumental is just as stunning. The little guitar instrumental is so gloomy, but the passion is really what I love about it most. Again, that little bit I said at the start is nowhere near as good as the song, but that just gets stuck in your head over and over. I've never expected a sad song to be catchy, which I think is impressive about this song. Number 33, Gene Soaked by Lil Shine, one of the best plug and beat tracks of the year. I love Lil Shine. Keep doing what you're doing. I love that EP as well. And yeah, I mean, it was the most popular song of that EP, and rightfully so. It goes ridiculously hard. I mean, I love Lil Shine's vocals, and they really shined on this song. Pun intended. I should kill myself. Number 32, Uncle M by Young Thug. I really again, these songs now are 10s when I tell you. None of these songs have any flaws. Uncle M I wish was higher. But it's again, it's very interchangeable. But Uncle M is one of the how to explain? It's so kind of smooth. Young Thug's flows on this are just impeccable. And the fact that he's kind of very soft-spoken throughout the majority of the song. And it's one of the toughest songs of the year. I listened to this a lot when it came out. Didn't listen to it as much during the summer. But in the past 2-3 months, this has been on repeat, man. The hook as well is great. I love the little whistle bits as well. The kind of Travis Scott humming in the background. Yeah, all around perfect track. Number 31, Nightstand by Dev Lemons. I really wanted to do an EP, top 20 EP thing this year. I'm just not in the mood to do it right now. But if I were to do it, because I do have a list, this would be second. Because I love this Dev Lemons EP. And this was my favourite song on there for a while. Because it's a very soft track. It's very sweet. The vocals are incredible on this. And the ending is beautiful. What else is there to say? Number 30, Stunner by Rome Street, Double D and Boldy James. One of the best hip-hop beats of the year. Jesus Christ. Number 29, Death of a Heart by Sign Crushers Motorist. Oh my fucking god, how emotional will this guy get? I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Every kind of end song of Liam McKay's albums is just him pouring out his emotions more and more, and you're like, oh my god, like this is heartbreaking to listen to. And yeah, it's like a very thumping track, and I think it's kind of like, again, probably just a recall of like a heartbeat, but my god, it's just again, it's another tear-jerking track. I have to be honest. Yeah, I think it's an incredible track. Number 28, a song I did not expect to be this high, considering how much I hated the album. But You Broke My Heart by Drake. Oh my god, Drake dropped one of the best EPs of the year, being Scary Hours 3. Again, did I like Fat D? No. And pause on that, but you know what I mean, for all dogs. Did not like that at all. I thought when this little EP came out, it was gonna suck ass. It did not, and this was one of the most like I've been waiting to hear a track from Drake where he's just going all in. You know what I mean? Like just like holding nothing back. And even though the hook sounds like fuck my ass, I don't care. It's a Drake song. Something's bound to be sus. You know what I mean? It's so ridiculously hard. It goes insane. It's one of the best Drake song of the 2020s. For sure. It's so good. Number 27, I Need You by Ken Carson. I don't even know what to say about this song, man. It's so, like, it's kind of like, the best way to, it kind of sounds like a hyperpop song times rap. I know that's probably, it's not like a traditional hyperpop song as well, but it's so, like, all over the place. And again, hyper. It's just incredible, and I think Ken Carson matches the energy very, very well. And one of the best hooks from a rap song of the year as well. Number 26, Mancala by Earl Sweatshirt, The Alchemist, and Vince Staples. One of the most beautiful rap songs of the year. I'm not a huge fan of Vince Staples, but my god, did he absolutely kill it. And Earl Sweatshirt just sounded smooth as fuck on here, as always. Top 25 time. I hope to god I haven't missed any. I'm pretty sure I haven't, so I'm doing good. Number 25, Costas by Westside Gun, Benny the Butcher, and Common the Machine. The Griselda trio link up yet again with one of the hardest hip-hop songs of the year. Straight away, they just grab your attention, and it kind of just feels like it's such a hard-hitting song. It's very powerful, and it's one of the, I keep saying this about like a lot of like Griselda albums. They keep on sounding like they have something to prove, despite them being some of the best in the game. And I think I love that, because that shows they're not giving up, and they're not just, once they've made it, they're just not going to try anymore. They keep fucking trying, and that's why you keep on getting bangers like this. Number 24, Shit Talk by Sufjan Stevens. I think it's like 7 minutes or some shit like that. Incredibly emotional, especially those parts where it's like, I love you, but I cannot live with you, and then the instrumental just kind of overwhelms you with so much emotion. It's a very heart-tugging track. It's very heartwarming as well. It's cozy, it's comforting, but it's also very saddening considering the context. Number 23, Unformed by Swans. One of the best usage of piano of the whole year. It's so simple and gorgeous. You know, I can't exactly describe it. I never thought I'd say something that's simple sounds gorgeous. I'm not like the biggest fan of Jira's vocals, but I think he sounds like he brings out a lot of emotion with his voice, especially considering the lyrics as well. And it's like a lot of the instrumental breaks, and I think the ending is fantastic as well, which I know I've said about like a lot of songs already. Number 22, You Don't Even Know Who I Am. One of the best uses of a sample this year. An incredibly emotional track. And again, it's so hard to talk about this song without talking about like the whole album in general. But it's just to put it simply, one of the characters in the album is hugely obsessed with someone else in their town. And a list track is basically just kind of like them saying everything they know about this person and pouring their heart out. Just talking about like, I know where you live, I know where your mum goes to work. And it's, talking about like, I went into your room, wore your clothes, put your makeup on, and stuff like that, and talking about, talking about the feeling emotional because of the cards the other person was dealt. I mean, it's like again, I know I said this a lot, it's a very heart-tugging track, but for all the wrong reasons. It's like this person's an incredible invasion of their privacy, but someone manages to make it like, oh my god, this is very, very like saddening, because I think it's kind of like it's saddening not just musically, because obviously it's very grand despite it being soft. There's beautiful horn sections as well. Underscores really like goes all out on their vocals again despite being very soft. But it's also sad just considering like how obsessed this person is, that that it's just overwhelming their whole life. And again, you have to listen to the whole album to really understand this song even more. But yeah, incredible song. Number 21, Seaforth by King Krule. The song I definitely had the most listens to out of that album. And again, I really don't sound like a broken record, but it's very cozy, very comforting. Actually, probably the most comforting track of the year. I don't know what to describe it. I don't know what it is about King Krule albums, but he just feels like he's hugging. It just feels like he's hugging you. That's all, like it's gonna be okay type shit. Number 20, What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish from the Barbie soundtrack. Oh my god, the vocal performance on this. I'm not like, I don't know. I like Billie Eilish's music. I've just never ever been a huge fan. Like if it comes on, I don't hate it, but it will never really be on my playlist aside from like a couple of hit songs. This is easily her best song, without a doubt. And again, watching the film with it as well, it's such. I fucking bawling my eyes out at that moment. You know what I mean? I think it's just like it always reminds me of the movies. When I really like the movie, I watched it with my sister. I wasn't going through a great time during that point of the year, and it was just kind of a nice release of emotion. So I thank Billy for that. Number 19, SRT by DC the Don. Oh my god, that beat just like makes me feel like I can do anything I possibly can. It's such a. I said this in my review on Daniel's Discs. Shout out to my Instagram. It feels motivational. Like once I listen to this, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna lift that weight. Yeah, I'm gonna drop that many points in basketball. Yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that because this song just fucking pumps you up, man. Shout out to DC the Don. I fucking love that guy. I can't. It's such an underrated track of the year, and it's one of the best openers. And I know I've said that a bunch as well, but it's genuinely like it is so good. And again, it's one of those songs where like you hear it because it builds up a little bit at the start, and you're like, there's no way he can flow on this, and he does. Like oh my god, please listen to this song, man. If you're not gonna listen to that whole album, Sacred Heart, at least listen to this because you'll just feel fucking pumped. If you're a sports player and you got a game coming up, before the game, listen to this shit because you're gonna be prepared. It's gonna prepare you more than any fucking pep talk from your coach because DC Don has your back with this shit. Amazing song. Number 18, I'm Glad I'm Alive. Take Care. Another fantastic love song. Would it be the best? Yeah, one of, if not the best love songs of the year. Again, it basically says what it says, and this person is glad that they're alive because they get to see someone as amazing and as beautiful as the person they are so fascinated by. Shout out to Liam McKay. Number 17, I've Officially Lost Vision by Lil Yachty. One of the best rock songs of the year. I never thought I'd say that because obviously Lil Yachty is not a rock artist. Man, it's so hard to describe. I know I've said this a lot, but the climax of this, fantastic. Goes all out, 110% effort on this one. Definitely the most effort I think he's put into any song ever. Pardon me, and I hope he gets to replicate this again. Number 16, Idling Somewhere by Jane Remover. Superb fucking vocal performance on this, considering how abrasive the instrumentals are. The instrumental is on this song, I mean. It's a very long song. You have to sit through it all just to really appreciate it. There's a lot of moments where it's loud, soft. You get every emotion on this. Number 15, Parasail by Travis Scott, Young Lean, I was about to say Young Thug for a minute, and Dave Chappelle. I have a lot of gripes with this song. Not because it's bad, because it's not by any means. I think it's a perfect song, but it could have been so much better. That is my only problem. Travis Scott absolutely kills it on this. The instrumental is I'd say this is one of the most emotional songs from Travis, for sure. And his kind of like moody, gloomy kind of flows really matches that instrumental. Young Lean didn't. Oh my, Young Lean was one of the best features on that, and he had about like fucking 20-second runtime. And that's the thing that kind of annoys me, because I'm like, he should have been featured on it way more, but his small contributions on that just makes the track even better. And even again, I don't really like Dave Chappelle obviously that much as a person, but even he contributed to that song quite a bit, I have to admit. Number 14, Dark Sword Angel by Danny Brown. One of the hardest rap songs of the year. He pops off on that shit. And sure, the production is a bit like weird. I think that was intentional. But man, it's so gritty. You know what I mean? And obviously, when I say it sounds like a Griselda song, it's because it does use a sample that Westside Gunn used on the track Red Death. But I think he probably does it better, maybe. At least rivals it, because Red Death is an incredible song as well. Number 13, Lean Beef Patty by JPEG Mafia and Danny Brown. I have a weird reason as to why I have it here. Because on Scaring the Hose, I do believe that maybe is at least one song on there that is probably better. Being is it God Loves You? I believe that's the song. I don't think there's that, like, you know, at least if there's, you know, another song that's better, there's like one or two. But the reason why I have it, yeah, God Loves You, yeah, that song is incredible. But the reason why I have this song over that is because it really embodies how hyped I was for Scaring the Hose. Because when this song came out, dead ass, I listened to this like 8 times upon release. I thought this shit was incredible. It's very short, but I think the duo on this just go ridiculously hard. You know, I love some of the bars on here, like, you know, be careful what you tweet. You could go from Elon to Ye in a week. You know, shit like that. It's such a funny track. And I think maybe God Loves You might be like slightly better musically, but I just think this album, this song, I just had on repeat until the album came out. So I think it just kind of holds a special place in my heart, because at the start of the year, it was just like, you know, it's one of my favorite songs at that point. Number 12, my favorite song from my second favorite EP of the year, Think About It, Dev Lemons. Obviously, I talked about one of her tracks before. It's such a thumping track with an incredible guitar throughout it. It builds up, and once it does come to the beat drop, Dev Lemons just holds fucking nothing back. Oh my god. It was definitely rivaling with Nightstand for a bit, but this song, as of like the last 2-3 months, I just had like genuinely on repeat. It's one of my most listened to songs of the year, I believe. The hook is great as well. Think About It. I think Dev Lemons is a very underappreciated vocalist, especially of like the kind of hyperpop genre in specific. Number 11, Parade by Paranor. One of the best shoegaze songs of the year. Again, don't know what the fuck he's saying, but he sounds beautiful saying it. Again, it's a fairly long song, but again, it's one of those a few songs that just makes you feel every emotion. You feel joy, sadness, kind of, you know, it makes you dance a little bit as well. It has a little bit of everything, man. And yeah, 100% worth the length of it. I wish it was longer, to be honest. Top 10 time. Probably going to go into a bit more depth with these songs, so apologies if I do manage to stretch this out to way longer than I should. But these songs are very, very special to me, as you know, considering they are top 10 of the year. Number 10, My Eyes by Travis Scott. What can I say except from the best rapping performance from Travis Scott of all time? The non-stop, so obviously there's 2 parts to this. The first part is this kind of glitchy, distorted, kind of almost Frank Ocean-esque moments in it as well. Especially with is it Sampha? Who had that little kind of feature on there? But it sounds so beautiful. You think it's going to be a very emotional song. The beat switches. It comes as very like, kind of like a car chase almost. You know what I mean? Those kind of vibes. Travis Scott comes in and does not stop rapping at all. And again, it has another one of my favourite lines of the year. What was it? It was like, you know, if you had my eyes, don't blink, or some shit like that, right? I don't know, such a clever bar. You know what I mean? Whether he wrote it, one of his ghostwriters wrote it. I'd think it's an incredible track. It's definitely the best track of Utopia. I think it kind of embodies that album as well, because it's quite an experimental track for Travis's standards. And definitely one of the best beat switches of his career as well. I'd probably say it's better than Sicko Mode, if I'm being honest. 9, Contingency Song by Jane Remover. The second best, I think I said this in my top albums of the year, the second best ending track of the year. Obviously, throughout that album, there's a lot of climaxes, a lot of moments where just the instruments clash together, builds up the emotion. And with this song, I think you're kind of expecting it to just kind of all come fucking crashing down. And it does, but not in the way you think. Because while it does build up, it's more vocally build up. Because you just hear Jane fucking screaming in the background. And rather than it making you cry, it just kind of leaves you in awe, in shock. Because it's just one of those... there's so many moments, especially like in film and in music as well, obviously, where there's such an emotional moment where you're like, I should be crying, but I'm just so in shock at this masterpiece that the emotions just aren't kicking in right now. They probably will later, but once you first listen to it, you're like, oh my god, what the fuck did I just listen to? You know what I mean? One of the most passionate vocal performances of the year as well. I'd argue, yeah, probably the most passionate. Yeah, just looking at my list now. Yeah, the most passionate vocal performance of the year. And it's one of the things I usually, with a lot of these songs, I say, like, even if you don't listen to the album, check them out. This is one of the songs where you, and again, with the Underscores album as well, you have to listen to this album, because I kind of, if you feel like listen to it separately, you're not getting that same emotion. You know what I mean? Number 8, Oh My God by Dead Calm and Widow Dusk. Kind of like Liam McKay kind of goes Alex G mode almost. Kind of going a bit more of like an indie. Oh shit! Like an indie folk. What's what I'm looking for? An indie folk lane on the new album. Accepts. This was my number 1 song on there for quite a bit. This is because again, it's another emotional performance on Liam McKay as always. Especially with like the chorus with the yelping "Oh my God." I think that just kind of like, you know, represents how like a lot of people feel, especially if they're going through like, you know, girl or boy troubles. You know, it's, oh my god, what the fuck am I doing? What the fuck are they doing? You know, can this just endless cycle of paranoia end? And I think that song represents that very, very well. The song I wanted to talk about more on the album was the number 7 track, Bleed by Dead Calm. I think I couldn't separate the two. To be honest, I didn't think any of the other tracks could be wedged in between. But Bleed is, again, another... it's such a weird year for, like... Well, not a weird year. A fantastic year for openers on a lot of albums this year. Because a lot of my favourite songs from a lot of these albums are the first tracks. Which is not a problem. But, man, this, again, is such an emotional track. And considering the stuff that has happened recently for me, a lot of these songs just hit like way too hard, you know what I mean? And if you listen to the lyrics and you know what happened, you know why they hit hard. But I think the acoustic guitar usage on this is beautiful. I think Liam's vocals are probably the best ever, at least tied with We've Run Out of Water. I'd probably say, yeah, tied. Just because it's so much more clearer, you can hear his voice a lot more, you can hear the emotion a lot better without being muffled. Not to say that the shit on like Birthday or like I'll Be Okay isn't bad or anything, it's just I feel like his voice is a lot better when it's a lot more present on the track. Number 6, a track probably not many people would think it'd be this high, considering just the kind of, I guess, the flack the album has from a lot of like music reviewers. I have Green Room by Ken Carson. Man, another opener to an album. Originally, I think this was like my second favorite track. I think I Need You was probably my favorite for a bit. And I started listening to Green Room again, and man, Ken Carson is fucking amazing. Oh my god, I love this. Again, despite not coming out that long ago, it's one of my most listened to tracks of the year because I just kept on listening to it. It's one of those weird tracks where like it goes really hard, but it's one of the more emotional Ken Carson tracks as well. You know, especially with the parts like you don't love me and shit like that. But I think there's like a lot of really good moments on it. I think the beat is incredible. And I think this is probably Ken Carson's best song ever. So yeah, thank you for making such a great track. I was expecting this album to be a bit of a disappointment, but no. And that first track kind of just solidified it straight away that this wasn't going to be a disappointing album. Top 5 time. Best of the best. And I know I've said that like about 3 different times, but there was quite a gap, I'd say. Aside from Green Room, everything else has a huge gap between the top 5. Number 5, another incredible ending to an album. Today I Lay Down by Black Market Cart. I'm not going to talk about the context of this song just yet, because I have another song coming up by Black Market Cart. Spoilers. All I will say is that made me cry a lot. And I want to get onto that in a minute. You know what I mean? I don't want to spoil it too now, but yeah, it's beautiful. It's generally one of the most beautiful songs I've ever heard. Number 4, another beautiful song, Bass Jam by Danny Brown, another ending to an album. Danny Brown, man, what the this song, again, it made me cry. Because obviously a lot of the album is a very vulnerable, very raw, very up close look at Danny Brown and his life. Just he talks about a lot of his troubles and misfortunes throughout his life, and this song is such a happy, joyful ending to an album that is very emotional from Danny. And a lot of it is just about reminiscing on the good times, a lot of nostalgia. You know, when it kind of, you know, there's obviously certain things with a lot of people, but they hear something, smell something, see something, and it just reminds them of when they were at their happiest, perhaps, when they were a child, when they were with someone special, when they were with their mum or their dad or a sibling, you know, and those little things, it can just make your day so much better, even if it is for a few minutes. And yeah, I cried to this, man. I think it's such a... Again, it's another song where it's soft, but it's very powerful. It's a very emotionally moving track for me. Just because I think, again, this is another incredible performance from Danny. And usually, like, when you think of incredible performances from Danny Brown, you're thinking of tracks like 30 or, you know, the opener for XXX, or Triple X, I should say. You're thinking of Ain't It Funny or Really Dough, you know, shit like that. You know, I could go on and on, obviously, about incredible tracks. Obviously, a lot of the stuff of Scaring the Heart, but I think this is like genuinely a top 5 song from Danny. Pretty because I just think it's such a heartwarming song, and I know I said that a bunch, but it's genuinely the most heartwarming song of the year, I'd probably say. Yeah, there's nothing really else to say about it. I'd say, yeah, I think it's one of those songs where you need to listen to the whole album to really appreciate it even more, because, you know, the whole album, you're just like, you know, you listen to the lyrics and you're like, fuck, like this, you know, it's a very moving album. And this song is just such like it's a breather, it's very calm, but it will still move your emotions. Number 3, now we're getting into the stuff I wanted to talk about. Alive Always by Black Market Cart. Again, if I were to do a top 20 EP list, or just any EP list in general, Today I Lay Down, obviously not the track, but the EP name would be number 1. As I thought it was a 10. And if it were to be an album, this probably would have been my number 1. This album was made by a person called Kai, aka Black Market Cart. It's a 6-track EP, I believe. And it's very traumatizing, I'd say, because unfortunately, the person who made this tragically committed suicide. Not that long ago, I believe. I think it might have been like around like late October-ish, and they were 17 years old. It's such a tragedy. It is such a tragedy when anyone takes their own life, whether it is at this age or any other age. But I think it's just because they were the same age as me when they unfortunately took their own life. once you kind of know their context and you read the lyrics, it's just so sad. I'm not great with like talking about this stuff, but man, like all I'm saying is, if you're going to listen to this EP, just be prepared, because yeah, like every time I listen to this, I cried for like the first 5 times I listened to this, and yeah, I think people kind of overlooking the fact that, you know, while this is a fascinating piece of music, not just a song but the EP as well, I know I keep saying that, and people were saying like, you know, oh, we lost such a great musician and loads of potential, and while I do agree with those statements, we also lost a human being who did not deserve to be taken away at such a young age. And yeah, I know that probably ruined the mood a bit for the video, but I'm probably gonna cry after talking about this, man. It's just such an emotionally dense song, and it really fucked with me. No, I'll just leave it at that. Going to a bit more of a positive song. Number 2, Kingdom Hearts Key by JPEG Mafia, Danny Brown, and Red Veil. One of the best, probably the second best use of samples this year, and the best song off of my favourite album of the year. And you might be thinking, well, how could it not be number 1? Because number 1 is number 1, okay? It's a crazy song. I think every single artist on this track really just like, I don't know who's better of who. Obviously, Kingdom Hearts Key was just like it. Was very interesting to listen to that song because Kingdom Hearts is one of my favourite games of all time. And I haven't played that game in a while, but I'd love to listen to the song whilst playing it. Yeah. A genius track. One of the best kind of like, yeah, one of the best rap songs of the 2020s for sure. Probably like top 3 to be honest. I just think, again, it's a very fun song. There's nothing really else to say about it, so I'm still a bit caught back with the shit I said about the track before, but yeah, fantastic song. Obviously is number 2, but number 1, oh my god, I love this song so much. Genuinely one of the best songs I think I've ever heard. It is Kitchen Lights by Westside Gunn and Stove God Cooks. The best usage of a sample, generally one of just ever. I'm still shocked every time I listen to this song. And again, it's another one of those songs where it's like it's a hip hop song by a Griselda artist who's usually known talking about a lot about violence and sex and drugs. And while some of those themes do appear, it also made me cry. It's just because the beat is genuinely, like, I'd say 100 out of 10. It's so, like, as soon as you hear it, it's not like a song where like it builds up a little bit, it hits you straight away, and you just can't say anything once you listen to it. You see, like that was just that is a live reaction of my listening to that song for the first time. Because I remember before I listened to it, because obviously it came out, I had to wait for it for so long because obviously it was released earlier in America, so I listened to it when I woke up and everyone was banging on about, like, oh my god, Kitchen Lights, you have to listen to Kitchen Lights. I'm like, okay, hey, this song's got a lot of hype for me. Listen to it. Blown away. There are so many good lines on this, and again, it's a track where no one else aside from these two really could have rapped over this as well as they did. And while I think obviously there's a lot of credit going to Stove God, and I will talk about him in a minute, Westside Gunn has an equally good performance despite him not having as much of a presence as Stove on this track. Just I think he brings such a powerful performance. You know, the opening lines. You know, you ever had to watch your mum get beat? Roaches crawling, the crack pipe on the bathroom seat. Like it's one of the most like emotional, raw, and vulnerable tracks from Westside Gunn, and obviously he has one of the most unique voices in hip hop of all time. And I think he does so well on that song, so well. But Stove God comes in with arguably his best performance of all time, both melodically and just rapping wise. And obviously these two are such an incredible duo. But he also has one of my favourite lines of the year and generally of all time with what was it? You ever watch water go from foggy to clear and you just stand there and stare? Like, it's something about, like, obviously with rap, you hear a lot of lyrics about, came from the bottom, now I'm up. Stuff like that. And it gets very, very repetitive at some point. Like, yeah, happy for you that you came from those bad situations and now you're rich as fuck. It's great. I'm happy for you. But this line in particular, I think, is probably the best of those type of lines. Watching water turn from foggy to clear. It's something so simple as that. Like, a lot of people, including myself, who are very privileged, take for granted. Water is water. For me, it's just like a normal thing. So a lot of people, it is definitely not. I have clean running water. Stove didn't. And the fact that he's gotten so successful from his music career, as well as Westside Gunn as well, and they're able to appreciate stuff like that, I think it's a very beautiful line, and one of the most beautiful lines in rap, like, ever, if I'm being dead serious. And yeah, that is it. Top 100. No, never done it before. Usually do like a top 10 singles kind of thing. But thought, fuck that. I'm just talking about the songs I like. Yeah. Don't know when you'll see me next. Maybe when I'm feeling better, I'll start uploading videos. But to be honest, this YouTube shit really ain't for me. So yeah, I doubt I upload another video until maybe next year. I do the same thing. So to the people who have liked my videos, thank you very much, and I love all your appreciation in the comments and shit like that, whether it's friends or people just simply enjoying it, just kind of scrolling across this, and yeah, I appreciate you a lot. I just don't have the motivation to really do this, and it is what it is. I don't think anyone cares, but yeah, thank you for watching, and let me know what your favourite songs were, and yeah, see ya.